Hi boys and girls, it's Shane and Shay. We're going to change a toilet. But we're in my Vampire Den Airbnb and this toilet is leaking, and we looked at changing the works on it, and the toilet's just so old that I think it's just time to change the toilet. So a pro tip, we found this toilet at our local Home Depot and the box had been damaged. You'll often see these like this. The insides of it seemed fine, but they were willing to take $15 off on it just for that. So a great way to get a deal is to look for a damaged box. When installing a toilet, you have to first open the box. Shay's demonstrating how to do that. Look at that expert skill. So as Shay expertly opens that box, I'm going to cut off the water at the valve. Sometimes you have to turn it several times. Sometimes it's just a quarter turn valve. It just kind of depends. That cuts the water going into the tank out. So now we can flush the tank and drain all the water from the tank. I'm just going to hold it down to get as much of the water out of the tank as possible. Now I will use a plunger and squeeze all the water down the hole, or as much of the water as possible. And that way it goes down into the drain and it makes it way less messy for us to have to move this out. This toilet has the added feature of a bidet that we've added later. So we're going to remove this. In most cases, you're just going to have a toilet seat in the United States. So to take care of a toilet seat, there's going to be little bolts underneath. And they usually connect to a screw that goes on top like that, which you can get with a flathead screwdriver. And holding the bolt underneath, we can unscrew both sides. Especially if you have a bidet, sometimes that'll be really yummy there. So it's a good place to clean from time to time. Now there's a hose that connects to the bottom of the toilet. It's usually on the left side on most toilets. We're just going to remove that by hand. So with the hose removed, the only thing holding this in place, other than a little maybe silicone at the bottom, is a bolt on this side and a bolt on this side. We need to remove both of those. You can use a crescent wrench or a pair of pliers or whatever. But this pair of vice grips seems to be working great. Whatever works for you. Now I'm just going to lift from the back and kind of bring it straight up to right. So we'll set it on a piece of cardboard. Shay, there's some kind of wrapper under the toilet. How in the world did that get there?
Like an M&M wrapper?
Not M&M, no, like a Propel fitness wrapper. No, dude, not everything goes back to gangster rap of some kind.
Darn.
Does M&M count as gangster rap?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to clean this spot up really good because it's pretty much the only time we get to clean it is when we change a toilet. In this case, we used a better than wax ring, which is something I generally use in all my houses. It means we can just install the next toilet right here without having to change the wax ring. If there was a regular wax ring, we would need to scoop this out, oftentimes with a gloved hand and a plastic bag. We'll scoop it all out and then put a new wax ring down. So putting it in one piece at a time I find to be the easiest, especially when I get to watch Shay do the heavy lifting. That always feels like the best way to do something. So he's just going to align it to the bolts and set the toilet down right on the bolts, which is easier said than done. This is probably the hardest part of a toilet install.
I concur.
Is getting the little bolts to line up
Aha!
right
Aha!
on the toilet.
And then we get to make it pretty-ish.
Excellent job, sir.
Thank you.
I don't find a significant improvement in toilets if I go with an expensive toilet or a cheaper toilet. So I usually just go with the $99, $110 toilets at the store. Have you ever had experiences with the cheap ones versus the expensive ones, Shay?
I did get a pretty good deal on 2 of those Toto ones that are said to be able to flush 18 billiard balls at one show.
Right.
I typically don't have the need to flush 18 billiard balls.
I've never actually in my life needed to flush 18 billiard balls that I can recall.
But I did get a good deal, and I can safely say I never did have a stocked up, commode after that. I don't know what it is about the jet propulsion that they put in that thing. It sounded like an airplane.
Would it wake people up at night if you flushed?
I wouldn't say it would wake people up. It was definitely something you got used to. It was
Apparently I'm the worst kind of TikTok host, the kind that makes mistakes and leaves it in the video because I'm just going to leave this in. I have to take these off because I forgot an important step.
2 in 1 day, Shay.
Which, yes, sometimes I make mistakes, Shay, but at least I can own up to my mistakes. So we need to set this white cap on the bottom before we do our wing nut. So after retightening this, I can now take the plastic cover that comes with it, and it will snap into place over that bottom piece. Before putting the tank on, we need to put this rubber seal, and usually it's octagonal. Nope, in this case it can just go on wherever. Also, we need to take off these wing nuts.
It's heavier than it looks, so it gets a little tricky.
Just like your mother.
Oh!
So now we will use the washer and the wing nut underneath each side. So we set it up onto the bowl top lid. I think that's the lid, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And black side to the back, white side to the front. And now we just set it down on top, just like so. Now before we go any further, I'm going to attach the water and try everything out, make sure we don't have any leaks or any unexpected surprises. And I know I just talked about everything being hand tightened, but this is one of the few exceptions, and that is because of the bidet attachment. Normally your toilet connector you can just tighten by hand. Alright, so we're going to hold the bidet in place. We get this seat set. Goes here, washer goes there, and then the nut goes underneath.
Hope I'm getting this.
I bet you are. So we have a problem. We finagled with the bidet settings while it was out of place, and I can't tell if it's on or off in its current setting, and I won't know until I turn the water on. So I'm going to reach down here and turn the water on, and I'm going to let you guys stay right here in front of it. Oh, that is not the correct off. All right, let's see if it works. Oh, that's so satisfying. So this video could have saved you $185 to $400 depending on the part of the country you're in on toilet installation, which is what Home Depot charges to install one. I hope it helps. Consider sharing this with a friend.